Okay, there's a lot to get through here, but in between missions, you can upgrade both Ray and his weapons, as well as visit the shooting ranges. You might remember that at the middle last video, Eric, the mysterious man, gave us a junk shooting range ticket. And this is a way of unlocking the junk weapon.
Oh.
Which is not just a commentary about its lack of quality. It is actual junk. Ray just grabs things off of the ground and throws them at enemies.
So it's the rocket launcher, then?
Yes, absolutely it is, yes. Although it's not just rocks. Well, for this shooting range it is. This is actually pretty difficult. And also, each time you perform or you try to take a go at the shooting range, it costs money to even try it. And we have to meet a certain score threshold in order to unlock the weapon. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can be very easy to just continually lose money at these shooting ranges. Which would be fine if it was like a challenge, but this is like, imagine you're playing Metal Gear Solid. You grab the SOCOM, and before you can even use the SOCOM, you have to do an advanced VR mission with it, and it costs money every time you try. It is one of the more inexplicable design choices in a game that has no shortage of them. And I'm not a big fan of that shooting range in particular. However, welcome to the weapon upgrade tree, where junk is one of our weapons. It's in the top corner there.
And if we can just figure out those silhouettes, we'll be spoiling ourselves on future weapons.
Yep. Yeah. Certain, like the weapons toward the right, you have to buy the weapons before that to even unlock them. So weapons can be further upgraded. In the case of junk, there's power, overall damage, range, which is the throwing arc, and then there's type. At level 1, you can only throw rocks, but the more you put into type, the more items you pick up off the ground. Which will eventually lead to a very interesting item you can pick up if you max out the type stat.
So this is literally Ray just picking junk up off the ground and throwing it at
very
people.
much so.
Okay.
The magazine stat on it, weapons is only for what's in the chamber. There's a separate stat for actually for actually the amount of ammunition you can carry, which is in Ray's personal skill tree.
Interesting.
And this is what SP is for. It's for upgrading Ray. So firearms is general weapon strength. The capacity is for total ammunition. Metabolism increases how much SP you get from eating food and decreases the amount of stamina that drains naturally. Aiming, I think, is for how long you can stay in zoom mode, and strength is specifically for melee and for a couple of other smaller mechanics we haven't seen yet. Also off screen, I bought the Assault Rifle 2, which has a slightly less recoil. I think it has a larger magazine as well.
All right. Okay.
Now, it has been a long time since I've used the BART. I lived in San Francisco very briefly for like 2 months. That was almost 15 years ago now, so I'm just going to assume that this is a very accurate recreation of the BART subway system, including all of the smoke and deadly toxins in the air.
I could only imagine.
I suspect it's not far off.
Thankfully, everyone in San Francisco knows how to do that, so it's actually not a big problem.
Oh, mushroom. Gross.
Yes,
No,
mushroom burgers. There is one in-universe product that gets a lot of mention, and that is Stamina's 30, the item that we use to, it's like a steroid of sorts to temporarily stop our stamina from draining. mean, this game was released in 2008, and even then, seeing a payphone in a subway station would have felt antiquated.
Found him. Get into position.
Whee!
Getting close.
Contact. We're moving in.
And you can see the assault rifle 2 has a bit more ammunition to work with. The thing is that a lot of the best guns in the game are just kind of boring. I had to force myself to use some of the more interesting gimmick weapons later on. But it's still fun. I still like the combat quite a bit.
I'm here to help.
And I know it was the freeze frame, but that guy was like posing for the camera at the end of that combat.
Is that the big twist that everyone in Surge knows that they're in a video game?
Everyone but Ray knows they're in a video game.
Yeah, this guy's shuffling so slowly because he wants more screen time. Get out of here, man.
He thinks that if he's on camera for long enough, then he can be paid as like a supporting character instead of an extra.
Looks like most of the passengers escaped.
Yeah, we got this is the closest that we get to a sewer level.
There he is. Kill him.
And well, yeah, it's a good way to kind of like expand on the various ways in which you need to pay attention to enemies by, you know, creating a tunnel and then having them approach from the sides of it.
These bastards sure are tough. Someone's hit. Stop him.
Oh, someone.
Once you start, once you start using the zoom mode plus shotgun combination, it's kind of hard to not do it. And here's another enemy. He just has some heavy armor, so might as well just throw rocks at him until he goes away. Maybe he'll leave us alone. So the various items that we could pick up do have slightly different properties. The rock does a bit more damage. Tennis balls will bounce off of one enemy, and it will hit any other enemy that ricochets off of it. The tin can or soda can does the same thing except with slightly different physics.
Running out of ammo. That's actually kind of clever.
And there are actually more types of junk that we haven't unlocked yet, which also have different properties.
The entire Blue Ridge City is in panic. Because of the disastrous earthquake, many fires have broken out, and the sky is now covered with thick black clouds. Many buildings have been destroyed, and even emergency vehicles have been immobilized. As we report from the scene, we are even in extreme danger ourselves.
IMDb claims that the Radio Man is an uncredited Yuri Lowenthal. I've not been able to confirm that.
That did sound a lot like his Peter Parker, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd believe it.
It's been a while since I've played the Spider-Man games, so yeah, maybe. This game's voice acting and the various there were two attempts to localize it. There was an original script with full voice acting that was used for the Japanese version, and then in an attempt to create something that could be used for North American market, the entire script was rewritten using the same cast. Many of the lines are identical, but with different voice direction. So we end up with, I don't know, I guess the best comparison I can think of is what happened with Justice League when Joss Whedon reshot half the movie, but it ended up with two different tones with the same cast playing the same people. Like, I'm struggling to think of another equivalent, but I don't know, it's very weird.
When that sort of thing happens, I like to think it's very rare. I mean...
Yes. Okay, remember that for later, like 2 stages from now.
I'm hoping that's also a gun somehow. I want to use that in combat.
That's a neat idea.
It's a super soaker. I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid. It even has the backpack.
When I was also rescuing my friends who were also 6 years old from near certain death.
The neighbors hated it when I put out their grills.
I mean, the floor is lava. That's what the red Lego was for. I had to save them. They were in mortal danger.
I think we'd all play Lego Disaster Day of Crisis.
Yes.
What a mess in here.
Maybe that could have been the Lego Wii U exclusive instead of Lego City Undercover. It would sell -5 copies, but I would own them all and complete it 100%.
Is that meat even cooked?
Well, yeah, of course, it's smoked meat.
Oh!
Anyway, I think coming up is one of the few mandatory rescues, because this guy gives you something you need when you rescue him. There is, in addition to all the other titles, there is a title for going through a stage without rescuing anyone. However, I think it's glitched because it only counts the first time you go through a stage. If you actually no, sorry, I was thinking of someone else who might be in that same position, but it's a firefighter who is a mandatory rescue. But yeah, the title only counts the first time you play through a stage. If you've already rescued that person and then replay the stage while intentionally not going out of your way to save anyone, you can't get that title just from that.
Huh.
Missable titles.
Yes.
Shame.
And as far as I know, it's the only one that works that way.
Oh yeah, you just needed a quick whiff over there.
Yeah. Technically speaking, you can use that to farm infinite SP. However, because you only get 10 SP every time you do that, it is completely illogical and counterintuitive to do so.
The enemy's been found! Open fire! Call for backup! Cover me! Copy that.
Oh, wow, where are you aiming? Hey, whoa.
See, this is what happens when I'm playing this on a Wii. I mean, I'm playing this. I'm Canadian, obviously, so I'm not playing this on a European Wii. But I did buy my copy with actual money many years ago. So even though this is homebrewed, I'm using a legitimate copy through a homebrewed Wii. It made more. I guess if I had started this project now instead of like April or May of 2020, I probably would have used an emulator. But by the time, I abandoned this project for many years, then picked it up again, and I should have just used the save files, the same save files that were in, that I started with all those years ago.
Hello.
My point being that I was using an actual Wii remote pointer instead of, keyboard and mouse. Which a lot of the other like Let's Plays and long plays I found in this game do emulate this game instead of running it on hardware. Maybe that was my reasoning for why I started this project on an actual Wii as opposed to using Dolphin.
Well, plus mouse and keyboard's got to make those shooting sections really easy.
Yeah. I mean, I not really easy, but certainly much easier than they are on a Wii.
Right.
Now this one's a bit tricky. We gave her crackers already, but do you remember there's another item we have that could help her out here? It's the Stamina's 30.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
That could give her the temporary boost she needs to get up. That one's I'll admit, that one's good. That requires a bit of lateral thinking. Even if you can, trial and error it, kind of, it rewards you for thinking outside the box. And why are you wearing a turtleneck sweater in the middle of summer? So for additional context, before we started recording, Liquidy Poo made a joke about how he was ready for our recording. He was ready for disaster, even if the local governments everywhere Ray goes are not ready. Mm-hmm. And I commented at the time that it was very funny, considering something that happens in this part in particular. And, well, we'll see what that's all about in a few minutes here.
Hurry! Run! Gotta get out of here!
Mayor, it's not safe anymore. We've got to get out of here.
I just love, this is one of my favorite cliches, the small town mayor. Well, Blue Ridge isn't small, but, the mayor, someone at a municipal level who actually cares about people and has the political power to help them out.
Me to stop, so that you can get out of here, correct? You don't have to worry about me. Save yourself if you must.
Which I guess is the equivalent of saying, like, all cops are bastards except for mall cops. So, Paul Blart, you're safe from the revolution. We'll kill you last and we'll make it quick.
Let me help.
You sure?
I'm from crisis management. It's my job.
Then help me, please.
And after that riveting cutscene, we have a special mini-game. Well, it's actually just a combination of a couple other mini-games, but in addition, we have to time our press of the Z button.
Okay.
Which I assume, considering that Z is kind of like the equivalent of lungs,
Two.
in terms of like mapping the controller to his mechanics, I'm assuming that it's meant to simulate him taking a deep breath before he struggles to clear the rubble.
This is it. You lift the debris, and I'll pull him out.
Like, there are other lung and breathing related mechanics that are also tied to the Z button. It seems very deliberate.
Good. A bit more.
Wait, I don't think this guy's gonna vote for me next term. Put him back.
The mayor scraped my knees from under the rubble.
Relax. Could you please take him to West Park for me?
Gonna vote for the other guy.
Sorry, but I can't. I'm after an armed group. For some reason, they're deploying troops into the city. This man will be in danger if he stays with me.
An armed group? I thought it was the military showing up for disaster relief.
I'll explain later. You need to get out of here. Now.
I see. All right, I'll take him. You get to West Park as fast as you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Come on.
And the mayor gives up when he realizes that the earthquake destroyed all the polling stations.
Fire everywhere.
Truly, Mother Nature voted against me.
I'll be burnt to death if I don't do something about it.
I knew those environmental lobbyists were up to something. Anyway, there's actually... Oh,
Jesus!
Fire everywhere. He just said it.
yeah. It was a fire ambush. This is a kind of an introduction to bigger optional rescue set pieces. We'll be seeing it a couple more times in the game where you'll have to backtrack for some key item to help out somebody. For example, this firefighter and a young girl who are trapped in a building.
Oh, if only there was a hose on the ground a little bit away from where we just were.
It's a shame there's nothing there. I guess you'll have to stay there and burn to death.
We need a spare hose. There's one over towards the subway.
Okay, so normally when you sprint for too long, it takes out a huge chunk of your stamina, and then Ray just kind of trips over and catches his breath for like 5 or 6 seconds. But because we had a stamina's 30, and it was stopping our stamina from decreasing at all, we were able to get away with that. Aside from the time cost, you know.
Please, hurry!
Fire hose used.
Well, you wanted one earlier, so here's yet another water mini game. The idea here being that there's a bunch of fires spreading, and you need to make sure that the fire does not spread over to the window where the firefighter and young girl are over there. Even though one is always scripted to appear, but it will eventually spread on its own if you don't put out those other fires.
I just want to point out that's the same water effect you use when you're cleaning something off of someone to bandage them.
Oh, yeah.
We're on to you, game. It's the exact same effect.
I never noticed that, but you're totally right. Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe the design decision to make the rescue stuff optional is supposed to help the player commit to the bit. You know, that these people can be ignored, but that you as Ray should not be doing that. To make it more of a player-driven decision instead of the character.
All over Blue Ridge City. Strong winds fanning the flames. They're rapidly growing.
That's interesting.
There have even been reports that fire tornadoes have broken out. We advise that
You'll want to remember the fire tornadoes for later in this game.
Even the hunks of rubble?
Yep. And if I remember correctly, there's a boss fight coming up. Sadly, it is not a boss fight against a fire tornado. But it's the next best thing.
Shit, here comes trouble. He's hiding! Over there, the debris!
So the main gimmick with these two Humvees as this boss fight is that they will consistently try to run you over, and also occasionally they lob grenades at you, which you can shoot out of the air.
This does feel very lethal enforcement all of a sudden.
Yes. And coming up here is that special attack. We saw it before with I forgot his name. I should know the names of these characters, but the Dan Southworth guy. Also, these guys are just like, I don't know, circling the wagons or something. What the hell are you doing?
Running out of ammo.
Are these guys sure they don't want to just jump over you again and then drive around and
Well,
not
no,
shoot
they're
you?
very indecisive. This is part of their mating ritual, actually.
Oh no, the fires have spread to the Humvee. I see, you're very clearly open to that guy, but he's just gonna drive around. Yep.
He looks so lonely without his partner truck.
Well, you know, they say Humvees mate for life.
Yep.
Yes. Oh. Yes.
Hold on a second. I gotta set this up first. You gotta wait until it gets into its special position.
I can reload. Running out of ammo.
I'm running out of rocks. What do I do?
Yes.
There we go. Wow, that was closer than I'd like.
Running out of ammo. Time to reload.
Holy shit, that rock hit hard.
I mean, it's called hard rock for a reason.
Good job, Ray.
Damn it. There's fire everywhere. Gotta get out of here fast. Shit. I can't go outside like this. I need some sort of protection.
Insert your own joke here. Okay, the grand finale, escaping by car, and of course, you know, we're gonna fit every possible cliche that we can into this sequence as well. Let's see if you can predict exactly what happens before it does. But before we do that, there is an item over here. Well, actually, no, over where that barrel is. It is stronger than the average barrel. And that's because it has something special in it. Well, there's this one and also this one over here. This is the most potent food item in the game, which is an iguana on a stick, I think. It's either an iguana or a lizard, but yeah, that is by far the strongest healing item in the game when it comes to stamina.
Get in the car.
That damn key. Here it is. Hopefully this will work.
He didn't even check the
Shit.
sun visor thing.
Well, I didn't have to, thankfully.
Quick or I'll get charred. Please start. Come on. Damn it.
Now imagine this scene, but with the push button cars we have these days.
Not much time left. Come on, damn it. Come on.
Make sure the clutch is all the way down, Ray.
Well, to be completely honest, this would happen to me with the push-button car, because I drove a friend's car for a little bit, and I didn't realize you had to hold the brake while pressing the button.
Oh, yeah.
It actually works.
So I was like, why isn't the car fucking starting? I would have been baked.
Oh yeah, it'd be all over.
Yeah, I really like this stage and several of the other ones as well. Thankfully, there's no combat in some stages, and in those cases, you just automatically get an S rank when you finish them. And there are also some titles that are tied to, you know, exemplary play in certain specific set pieces, like the thing with the mayor earlier.
Exemplary breathing.
Yes, very exemplary.
And another range ticket.
Yep. There are, in addition to the firing ranges that unlock certain weapons when you complete them, there's also beginner, intermediate, and advanced tickets. Those firing ranges, you could bring any weapon you want to those, as well as one very, very special ticket right at the end of the game, which I'm not going to spoil, but it is magnificent.
Come on, stereotypical thrown pies.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
If Castlevania can have pies you can throw,
Yeah.
surely.
That might be too highbrow for Monolith Soft.